welcome everyone to Youth in Economics, the podcast where we explore the world of finance, policy, and innovation through the lens of young minds and experienced leaders. I'm Hana.
And I'm Marissa Snow, your host for today.
Together, we'll be your hosts as we navigate the exciting and ever-evolving field of economics, unpacking how it impacts us, young individuals, and the future we are building. To help us unpack to this topic, we are thrilled to have a very special guest in joining us. We are honored to welcome Aishah Aziz, the head director at Bank Negara Malaysia. With her extensive experience in overseeing the Malaysian banking system, she'll be sharing her insights on the profitability of Islamic and conventional bank in today's episode.
Thank you, Hana and Marissa. I'm excited to be here to discuss such an important topic. Islamic banking has grown significantly in Malaysia, and comparing its profitability, the conventional banking offers key insights into the sustainability and future of both systems. So, whether you are students, a young professional, or just curious about how banking works, this episode is for you. So grab your notebook or your favorite drink and let's get started. To kick things off, let's set the stage. Islamic and conventional banks operate on very different principles, but both aim to remain profitable while serving their customer. So Aisha, what is our general topic that we are going to discuss for today?
Alright, before we dive deeper into the analysis, I would like to start with a quick question for both of you, Hana and Marissa. What do you understand about conventional and Islamic banking briefly? Okay, from what I understand, conventional banks operates on an interest-based system where banks earn profits by charging interest on loans and offers interest on deposits. And it is a model that is widely used globally. It focuses on primarily on maximizing shareholders' value.
And for me, on the other hand, Islamic banking is based on Sharia principles, which prohibit interest, which is riba. Instead, it focuses on profit sharing and ethical investment. It also emphasizes fairness and social responsibility, which makes it appealing to customer seeking ethical financial practices. Right. So our general topic for today is about profitability of Islamic and conventional bank in Malaysia by Hamidah Ramlana and Muhammad Sharif.
Oh, so what does this general topic talks about?
Alright. The study compared the profitability of Islamic and conventional banks in Malaysia from 2006 to 2011 using data from Bursa Malaysia and official bank websites. Islamic banks were found to be more profitable, driven by a higher ratio of total loans to total assets. Conventional bank profitability was mainly influenced by return on equity (ROE), while Islamic bank were impacted by both ROE and ROA, which is written on assets. ROE strongly affected conventional banks, whereas our ROA and ROE for Islamic banks were linked to the total equity to total asset ratio, showcasing the financial strengths of Islamic banking. Okay, so for introduction to our topic, the global banking system consists of two main types of financial institutions: conventional banks and Islamic banks. So for conventional banks, they operate on interest-based principles where they charge interest on loans and offer interest on deposits. This model has been the foundation of modern banking system worldwide. On the other hand, Islamic banks follow Sharia law, which is strictly prohibits the charging of interest, also known as riba. Instead of interest, Islamic banks also operate on principle of risk sharing, profit sharing, and equity-based financing. And in Islamic banking, the focus is on ethical and socially responsible investment. The financial transaction must align with the principle of fairness, transparency, and mutual benefits for both parties involved. Islamic banks offer various financial products that include profit sharing agreements, where the banks and the customers share both the risks and rewards of an investment. This includes contracts like mudarabah, profit sharing, and musyarakah, joint venture, which is they create a more equitable financial environment. So, with this background, we will explore the profitability of both banking systems, examining how their operational models impact their financial performance in the context of global and Malaysian markets.
For our journal, one of the few literature reviews that are used, one of which is Hassan and Adnan, which they discuss how Islamic banks have greater social obligations and also responsibilities compared to conventional banks. Their objectives are to go beyond profit making and to include ethical and community focused goals. Next, we have Bashir, which did a study on the profitability of Islamic banks in the Middle East from 1993 to 1998. And they also found a positive correlation between the profitability and the factors such as liquidity, loans, and also a good economic environment. Next, we have Hasud, which analyzed Islamic and conventional commercial banks in the Middle East. It is found that non-interest bearing loans require sufficient return on investment. And they also observe higher volatility in ROE and also ROE ratios in one system compared to another. And as for the last one, from my part, we have Ansari and Rahman, which discuss how Islamic Mizan Bank in Pakistan was compared with five conventional banks from 2003 to 2007. And it is found that Islamic banks showed lower profitability and efficiency ratios, but have a very high solvency ratio. And the liquidity ratios were not a significant concern in this comparison. Okay, so Marissa, what are more literature reviews for your work?
Okay, on my part, there are four more of literature review, which is the first one is Mahmud. Uh, he discussed some Islamic banks in Pakistan had higher financial ratio values compared to shareholders of conventional banks from 2000 to 2004. And the next one is Kadir et al. There are no significant difference in profitability or liquidity were found between Islamic and conventional banks in the UAE. On the other hand, for Samad, he find a similar findings in Bahrain in 1991 until 2001 showed no major performance difference between Islamic and conventional banks. And for the last one, for our literature review, Samad and Hassan, they analyzed Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, BIMB, from 1984 to 1997. BIMB showed improved profitability over time, but lagged behind conventional banks due to structural challenges.
Now, as we have discussed, analyzing profitability requires specific financial metrics and methods. Are you familiar with these methodologies, such as examining ROE, ROE, and net profit margins? If so, how do you think they apply to comparing these two banking models?
Yes, I'm familiar with these methods. ROA, or returns on assets, measure how efficiently a bank uses in assets to generate profit, while ROE, or return on equity, evaluates profitability from the shareholder's perspective. These metrics are critical in comparing the performance of Islamic and conventional banks because they provide insights into how well each model operates financially.
Alright, so before we go further, there are actually three methods of methodology that must be used here. Okay, first, data collection, statistical tools, and also scope of analysis. Go. So the hypothesis discussed for the study compares the profitability of Islamic and commercial banks in Malaysia. The null hypothesis states there is no significant difference in profitability between the two, but the study proved otherwise. For factors influencing profitability, the null hypothesis for commercial banks suggests that ROE does not significantly affect their profitability.
Okay, in this topic, they had two types of variable, which is independent variables and dependent variables. Okay, so for independent variables, total equity to total assets, they measured the proportion of equity relative to total assets, indicating financial stability. And for total loans to total assets, they reflects the amount of loans compared to total assets, with a higher ratio suggesting greater profitability. And the last one for independent variables, deposit and total assets. They represent the share of customer deposit relative to total assets, showing how much of the bank's asset are financed through deposit.
Okay, so next we also have dependent variables. The first one we have return on assets, or the short form is ROE. It measures how effectively a bank is using its asset to generate profit, and it is also calculated by dividing net income by total assets. A higher ROE actually indicates that the bank is efficiently utilizing its asset to earn profit. So that means higher ROE means a higher return. Next, we also have return on equity, or ROE, which measures the profitability relative to shareholders' equity. It is calculated by dividing net income by total equity. And higher ROE officially means that the bank is effectively using the shareholders' fund to generate profits, which is crucial to attract and retain investors and also their customers.
So we are proceeding towards the end of our podcast. So Hana and Aishah, do you have any suggestion or recommendation for this general topic?
Well, I do have one based on the regression test. It shows that for conventional banks, H1 is accepted only for ROE, and there are no significant factors that were found when they are measuring the ROE with the independent variables. For ROE, however, the total equity to total assets is a significant factor with a 1% significant level. For Islamic banks, H1 is accepted for both ROE and ROE as total assets to total equity to total assets, as it significantly influence profitability with 5% significant level. Alright, so as for my part, for correlation test, H1 is accepted only for ROE in conventional banks, as there is a significant relationship between ROE's profitability and total equity to total asset at the 1% significance level. However, no significant relationship was found between ROE's profitability and any of the independent variables. For Islamic banks, H1 is accepted for both ROE and ROE, as there is a strong and significant relationship between the profitability and total equity to total assets at the at the 1% significance level.
Okay. Today's discussion has provided a deeper understanding of the profitability of Islamic and conventional banks. So, we explored the unique principle guiding these two banking systems, which is conventional banks relying on interest-based operations, and Islamic banks adhering to Sharia principle of risk sharing and profit sharing. Okay, through our review of the literature, we have seen how the financial performance of both systems can vary based on market conditions, structural challenges, and operational strategies. While Islamic banks have shown growth and resilience, particularly in markets like Malaysia, challenges such as structural limitation and market competition tourists. Um, on the other hand, conventional banks, despite their profitability, face their own vulnerabilities such as sensitivity to economic downturns. In conclusion, the profitability of both banking systems reflects not only their underlying principles but also external factors like economic stability, regulatory frameworks, and customer preference. Both have unique strengths and areas for improvements. And understanding this difference is crucial for stakeholders and policymakers in shaping the future of the financial industry. So, thank you for joining us in this insightful discussion. We hope you found today's episode valuable. Don't forget to tune in next time for more engaging conversation. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating world of finance.
Bye.